I'm going to whoop. What did the guy tell me? He's going to whoop my caboose. He didn't say so. I said, right here. And that's when I started laughing. That's me laughing at him in the beginning. Remember, this went on for a half an hour. I told the guy where I was staying, bike guy. He shockingly never showed up. Wonder why. The event was fantastic. Again, we'll get to that. But what was interesting about the event, if you ever wanted a microcosm of what this election 2020 is about, it was at that event last night. You were sitting there on the South Grounds and you were listening to these speeches from these amazing Americans, from Ben Carson to Ann Dorn, to President Trump, to Ivanka, to Jerron, everyone. The speeches were amazing. The Mueller family. And you know what was playing in the background? On the streets? The lunatic mob was gathering. You didn't hear that from the media, did you? You didn't hear that from CNN, that they were outside with bullhorns, air horns, honking horns, playing like rage music outside, trying to interrupt the event. Illegal? No. Evidence of an out-of-control rage mob that can't control themselves for a couple hours while American citizens trying to proudly represent their party in a free city, in a free country, do it for a few hours. You couldn't do that? You had to come in and ruin it with your mobs. And by the way, there was a tension I could feel growing amongst the crowd as the night wore on. And we closed in on 11 o'clock because the sounds outside got louder. Put yourself in our shoes. We're all sitting there, and you're hearing these screaming and these yelling and these raving lunatic banshees outside getting louder and louder and louder. And you know you got to walk back to your hotel. Ladies and gentlemen, if you haven't been to D.C. in the White House, there were no cabs waiting outside. You were walking through that, and you knew you were going to run that gauntlet. And I'm telling you, by the end of the night, everybody knew they were going to run that gauntlet. And they knew something else, too. They knew they were in Washington, D.C., not New York City during the Giuliani days, or even the Bloomberg days, to be fair, where the RNC was in New York, the Republican National Convention. I remember. I worked it as a Secret Service agent. And there were isolated scrap-ups here and there, but generally people walked around safely and had no problems at all because the NYPD did their job. I'm not faulting Metro, DC Metro last night. The guys I met, the women I met, the cops there did the best they could do. But it is clear that their leadership, their political leadership, Muriel Bowser, had no intentions of keeping this event as secure as it needed to be. None. Without further ado, this is after Paula and I left. So just to paint a picture, we walked out on 17th Street. The minute you walked out, the minute you left the gate, literally, this is not even the minute, the second they opened the gate, there were the big inaugural gates up. They were all waiting right there. Alleged protesters. It's interesting because I'm not really sure what they were protesting because they never told us what they were protesting. What they did tell me was that my wife was we're on terrestrial radio, so I have to watch my language. It rhymes with snitch class. My wife, Paula, who's an immigrant from Colombia, by the way. She's a racist too, according to the people outside. So was I. So, as a matter of fact, so was everyone who left. Interestingly, the people yelling that at us were white people. My wife's Colombian. So as we walked further down the street, and one of them, what was the first thing they said? Paula's behind me. What was the first thing they told you, Paula, with the, hey, you with the white dress on, like, learn to walk in heels or something like that? Oh, yeah, that was cute. So you may say, well, Dan, what did you do? Folks, listen, this isn't time for fake tough guy stuff. And maybe we'll tell that story on the unfamily-friendly version of the show on another day, where there may not be some legal consequences. But you have to be careful. We're not the violent ones. I am not going to be the one to initiate any type of violent action ever. It's not what I do. It's never what I did. I, however, like any sane human being, will defend myself if you put your hands on me. Nobody did that. We walked about 2-3 more blocks being called racist. How many middle fingers you think we got? 50, 60 middle fingers or so? One of them I noticed that I actually started to pursue a little bit, picked up the pace quite intensely after he figured out that the middle finger didn't go so well. So then we turned the corner. We were really by ourselves. We were walking in front of St. John's Church. And thankfully, about a minute after we met up, just coincidentally, with Art Acevedo and a bunch of Border Patrol guys who were walking back to the same hotel. Thank God. Oh, good point. The ladies. With this group we're walking in, as I play this video, there were 2 Asian women in their, 60s maybe? I'm not sure. Terrified. They had just walked out of the event. They were all on their own. Art and the Border Patrol guys and Paula grabbed them first and said, we need you to walk with us. Because as we walked down the street, there was a rage mob of about 300 people getting ready to swarm. Well, a couple of them, a group of about 25, decided they were going to leave that rage mob and focus on us and follow us back. Here's what happened.
Come on! Come on! You make me ashamed to be a woman.
Oh, man, you guys are clowns.
Yeah, I said it. Remember my face. I found you all night.
I do.
You can record.
Video in this?
Record.
Video this guy. Get him on tape. Give me your camera. Get him on tape.
I did. I got him.
Get him on tape. More.
I got him.
Get him on
Listen to
tape.
your pretty wife and keep him up.
Yeah, listen to your man.
Man, listen to your wife.
Are you by yourself?
Yeah. You
Are you by
better listen to your wife and keep walking.
I got him.
Yeah.
Because she's still get your ass whipped out of here.
Listen to your man. Because he's scared. He's security because he's scared.
So now, y'all better follow these motherfuckers.
You can intimidate
You
me.
better follow these.
This one, he wants to use but he can't. He's very angry inside.
His parents must be proud.
Wife like that.
Is that your wife? Is that your wife?
Don't worry.
I don't care. Is that your wife?
Watch my shoulder.
Is that your wife?
Watch my
Is that
shoulder.
your wife? Come on. He's gonna get canceled by next.
Lot in there, right? That's me in the beginning calling them clowns and then telling Paula, get these guys on tape. We're going to make them famous tomorrow. A lot of talkers, by the way, a lot of chatterboxes. Not a violent man. I never will be. There's no excuse for preemptive violence. None. I'm sorry. Not in a civilized country. But if you want to dance, we can dance. They don't want to dance. Please watch the video. Go to my YouTube channel, youtube.com/Bongino. Watch the video of the guy on the bike, the talker, the one who's talking most of the time. The one who says, not the guy who calls, but the bleeps, by the way, were another moron in the background asking me if that was my snitch class wife. You can figure out what he was really saying. We got to bleep that out. And the guy on the bike is the one saying to the other guys, to the pack of them, because they only attack like wolves in packs, except they're not wolves, they're like puppy dogs, saying, we're going to follow these mother all the way back to the hotel, which they did, to his credit. He wasn't kidding. But what was interesting about Bike Guy is he kept telling me how he wanted to fight me, but when given the opportunity to get off the bike and actually do it, he never took that shot. I wonder why. Neither did the guy who called my wife a snitch class. So let me give you a couple of takeaways from this. Takeaway number one, these guys and women are total cowards and chumps. What they do, and when you experience this for yourself, you'll see how they act. They attack in packs. One of them will come over like the guy on the bike. He didn't say anything, the guy, but by the way, this went on for almost a half an hour. He didn't say a word until other people, he didn't even know. They all know what to do. It's like they have this hive mind, like Borg from Star Trek, like programming. They know they have to attack in packs because they are legitimately chumps. When you stare them in the face, they look down, they won't do anything, as yellow-haired guy last night found out about. I'll have to tell you that story another time. Thank God for my friend, you know who you are, from the Secret Service, who got in between me and yellow-haired guy. They're total cowards when you confront them. Totally. Mark my words. They don't have a shred of courage or dignity, but they do attack in packs. And it gives them like collective power because they know that if it breaks bad for them, their friends will hit you with a skateboard. So what they do is you walk down the street, the bike guy comes out. He like kind of sniffs out. There he is. Thank you, Paula, for the screenshot. There's bike guy. We told him we make you famous. There you go, brother. Here's your moment in the sun. Everybody gets their 15 minutes like this life loser. So bike guy kind of signals to people. Again, they don't know each other. They just know they're all paid to be there or paid working for someone who's paid to be there and protest. And then they come over and you see them coming over like moths to a flame. And as it builds from 2 to 5 to 10 to about 20 where they're comfortable, all of a sudden, that's when it starts coming out. Is that your snitch class wife? We'll follow you to hotel, mother. I'm going to whoop. What did the guy tell me? He's going to whoop my caboose. He didn't say so. I said, right here. That's when I started laughing. That's me laughing at him in the beginning. Remember, this went on for a half an hour. I told the guy where I was staying, bike guy. He shockingly never showed up. Wonder why.
You just heard Dan Bongino.